Hi, welcome everybody. This is Danielle Espinosa from LMC Media, and I'm here talking with our very own local home celebrity, Joe Mazza.
Hello, hello. What's up, Danielle? How are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. Just living the dream right now. This is all a wild ride I'm on, and I wouldn't change it for anything at all.
So tell us a little bit more about you. You have suddenly become HGTV's newest star, Home Inspector Joe. Tell us a little bit more about the show.
Yeah, it all started back in 2019. I do like Instagram videos, Facebook videos, all educational, but there's a little twist to it, to make people laugh and, engage, get everyone engaged. Because if you're just there, like, saying, "Oh, there's a smoke detector, it doesn't work," okay, dude, we got that. It started with that, and my following grew. As the following grew, I was recognized by USA Today, and they did an article on me, which I was shocked about. But hey, this is how it happens, right? And then from that point, River Media, my production company, found that, and they said, "Hey, Joe, we would love to maybe collaborate and do something with you for HGTV, DIY network, et cetera, et cetera." And I was like, "Whoa, that's a big deal." So I went for the ride, and it's a long ride, 2019 of July until right now, but it was so worth it. All of it is so much fun. Everything is so much fun. And I'm getting the word out. That's the whole thing, is I'm getting the word out, what people, homeowners and sellers and renters should look for in a house. It's big.
So why home inspections? Why was that like your thing?
Well, first of all, I've been in construction for 20 years, and it was just, I was hustling in the city, New York City, working, a lot of hours, not getting paid for, the work I was doing. A lot of the work I was doing, running big high rises. I was on the Second Avenue subway. Then I would come home, I'd work on the side doing construction. I was just like killing myself, putting in the hours, and I'm like, man, I'm doing all this work and I'm making someone else a lot of money. I got to do something different. Plus, I was sitting at home and I was like, my wife, I said, "Hon, we got to figure this out. Like, I got to do something." And it just dawned upon me. I was like, home inspection. I could do everything under one hat and be my own boss. And I could actually really like get involved with the job and be very personal, like which I am with my clients, and have fun and do it. Uh, and it worked. So I was making, whatever, this much money in New York City after 20 years. I started the home inspection, and home inspection, boom, 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 and it just blew past it. Bye-bye to the city job. I said, "That's it, we're done." And started doing the home inspections full time. And that just kept going and going and going. And it's just great because, like I said, I get to teach my clients. I get to educate everyone. I love doing that, getting the word out on how like dangerous a house could be and what to look for in a house and smell stuff in a house. It's just being able to educate people, on the dangers in a home is critical, especially when you're spending that much money on a home.
So what has that transition been like as well? Because it's also one thing to be in front of social media, dabble in it every so often and all that,
Yeah.
still have access to your private life. And now you have your own show. You're in the spotlight for the most part. You're a new reality TV star.
Yeah, yeah. The transition is it's slow so far. I mean, I'm not look, we're still in the whole COVID realm, right? So it's like we're not like, and it's 12 degrees outside right now. It's freezing cold, a lot of snow. So we're not going to parks, we're not doing big events right now. But I will tell you, like going to the gym, I work out a lot, going to the gym, I am getting noticed. I see people, a lot of people start staring, and the other day there was this big guy, man, it was huge, and he's like staring me down. I'm like, "Oh, this guy's gonna kill me, man." I'm like, "Why is he looking at me like that?" And he was like, "Dude," I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, bro?" He's like, "You're Home Inspector Joe?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I need a picture with you." And I was like, "I gotta show my wife. She loved your show." I was like, "Oh, okay. Phew. I thought you were gonna beat me up." But it's good. Like I dropped my daughter off the other day, and some guy, came over to me. It's nice. I'm very humble. I'm down to earth. I'm your everyday dude. I'm not out here to like, be that guy that's "Oh, I'm a celebrity now." I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a home inspector doing what he does, but now getting it out to the world.
And you get to do it basically in your very own home because most of the houses you're filming at are located here in Westchester and Connecticut,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we had one in Hopewell Junction. That was the farthest one. That was about a 50-minute ride from my house. And then we have two in Connecticut, and then the rest are right here. I mean, Scarsdale, Mamaroneck, 1 block over from where I grew up. As a matter of fact, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, is in Mamaroneck and Rhinebeck, and that's where I went to school. So that one touched home. That was fun. That one was a lot of fun. But being able to work around here where it's relevant to me, you know. But I actually have some comments that came in, and people were like, 900,000 for that house? Who the heck would buy a house like that? I'm like, it's how much they are here. You know, it's like, they're like, well, you're making up the numbers. We're not making up the numbers, man. It's not, we're not.
Yeah, so it's definitely a seller's market right now. That means sometimes, it's not so great out here for buyers and people who are interested in, getting their first home, or property in general. So what are some tips that you have for people that are looking to buy their first home, really settle down some roots and all that, but just don't know where to get started?
Well, it's hard now. Like you said, it's very hard. And I'm hearing a lot of people saying we have to waive the inspection. Don't waive the inspection. If you're waiving the inspection, you're out of your mind. Unless you're a billionaire and you don't care, you just want the house and the property, then you do what you got to do. But waiving an inspection, someone just called me. I'm getting calls all the time. Hey, Joe, we just bought a house. We need a home inspection. I'm like, you just bought a house or you're buying a house? And they're like, no, we bought the house. We moved in and we're having problems now. I'm like, did you have it inspected? They're like, no, we had to waive it. I'm like, forget it, man. I'm like, I don't even know what to, I'm like, I feel bad for you. I'm like, well, why would you? Anyway, do your homework, do your due diligence before you're buying a house. No, obviously you got to know exactly how much you can spend on a home. And after you move in the home, are you going to have money? After you pay for everything to fill the house with the furniture, do you need a new heating system? I always say, when you're going in to buy a house, know your budget, number one. Number two, ask the real estate agent, how old is the roof? How old is the heating system? Are we in a flood zone here? How old is the electrical panel, the cooling system? These are big ticket items that can come and bite you, in the cooling. Buried oil tanks, open permits. Do your homework before you go in and you waste your time and everyone else's time. Because the last thing you need is to go in that house and get hit with $100,000 fee for oil tanks and heating and roofing and this and that. And you're just like, uh-oh. And then you're immediately like, more debt.
Well, since you bring up that so many people have been hitting you up and asking about home inspections and all that, not everyone can have, Inspector Joe come around. So what do you recommend to people looking for an inspector?
Ask your inspector, how long have you been in the business? Do you go on a roofing system? A lot of inspectors, they do go on a roof, but there's also a lot that do not go on a roof. Now I know it's, insurance companies say don't want a roof, but you got to get on a roof. That's me. I'm always on that roofing system. If I can't get up there, we use a drone, the whole 9 yards. Do you work in the area? Are you from the area? Are you familiar with the area? How long does it take to do a typical home inspection? If you're doing a 2,000 square foot house, it takes me about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, depending on the condition. I did one the other day. It was, for like 3,500 square feet. It took me 5 hours. I mean, we had problems, but take your time. Do you walk around with the client? Do you take pictures? And these are just like little tips that you can ask your inspector as well.
So when you're actually on set and, you're filming, going through these houses and working with these clients and all that, how much of it is like very spot on to the actual process? Is there anything that's kind of, re-edited and kind of made looking different from the actual process?
No, it's when I do a home inspection on the show, it's all real. What I'm doing is happening. They may do another take from a different angle because they want to get a drone shot in or wide angles, but everything I see is legit. Nothing is staged. Absolutely not going to be staged. I put that in writing. I said, don't ever make me say something I don't want to say. Don't ever make me change something on the job. Like what it is what it is. If you want to remove it from the set, from the scene, that's fine. But everything I see it's there. It's real. It's real. Nothing is thrown in the mix. Even that beehive in the last episode, that was real. I didn't put that there.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, what is the craziest case that you've had to work on so far in terms of house inspections? What's the craziest thing you've ever seen?
I did a house in New Rochelle a few years ago, and I was in a crawl space. And as I'm like, it was a crawl space, but you could almost stand in the crawl space. And I'm like walking through, kneeling down, and my feet were crunching. I'm like, what the heck is that sound? Because it was like a kind of like a flooring system, like a carpet down. And you ever see Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? I don't know if you ever saw that one.
Yeah.
When they're in that tunnel and the bugs and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Right. So that's the first thing. I was like, spiders, because I hate spiders. Like I'm walking in the crawl space and I'm like, what, this is something. And I take my flashlight and I shine it down on the ground. I'm like, what is that? And I pick it up and it was teeth. So the crawl space floor had thousands of human teeth on it. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, dude. So I don't panic out loud. Inside, I'm melting. I don't panic out loud. I'm looking around. Now I'm like sweating and I'm looking around the crawl space. Like, is there anything else in here? You know, like, honest to God, I was like waiting for like a dead body to be there. So I come out of the crawl space. I go to the real estate agent. I'm like, dude, I don't know how to put this to you, man. This whole crawl space is filled with teeth. He goes, what? I go, it's teeth, man. I was like, where's our client? I was like, I don't know how to tell the client. There's teeth everywhere. Anyway, fast forward, the client came down. I brought him in there and we're just sitting there scratching our head and we're making all these different calls. And I'm like, dude, I'm not inspecting this anymore. I'm like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm going to be outside. I was like, this is a crime scene. I'm like, I don't want to dig deeper. It turned out that the guy that owned the house had a factory mill shop in the basement. He used to make false teeth and he would throw them in the room when he didn't use them. He kept throwing them in there. It turned out there was like thousands of teeth in that room on the floor, but I didn't find that out till like months later.
So false alarm. It was no serial killer.
False alarm, false teeth, the whole 9 yards. It was all good.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. That's definitely crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So then last question for you. What's next as Inspector Joe, as just a regular guy here in Westchester County?
What's next? Well, I have another show that I'm hosting with Allison Victoria, who's the host of Windy City Rehab. We been going back and forth. We just finished filming. It's called Hometown Kickstart. That was filmed in Kentucky, in LaGrange, Kentucky. We had a ton of fun out there. That's going to air, I think our episode maybe early May, somewhere like that. They don't have an exact date yet. So that's something that came up, which was, I wasn't expecting it, which was fantastic. I'm doing some events here and there that, I'm going to Florida in a couple of days. I'm going to do an event down there. They asked me to come down and host it. So it's just, I'm taking it in strides. Whatever comes my way, I'm going to evaluate and do it. I love it. I love it. I miss my family when I'm traveling, but they understand.
Okay, great. Do you want to plug in your socials and anything else?
Oh yeah. I mean, Joe Mazza Home Inspections is my Instagram account and my Facebook account. I do a lot of educational video. They're pretty much all educational videos. They're changing a little bit now, with the show and whatnot, but Joe Mazza Home Inspections is it's a fun site to go check out. You're going to learn a lot and you're going to laugh. And when you watch a show on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on HGTV, you're going to love it. I guarantee you're going to love it.
I learned pretty quickly after I met Joe that he's a character.
This is not easy.
He's not only fun and a little wild in all the best ways, but he stays on these projects from beginning to end.
Oh, right there. That's a gas sign.
Not just as an inspector, but a project manager.